another video. Today we're going on an adventure. So I might be buying my ultimate dream car to be a 992 GT3, but we're going to be going down to Maryland to look at a BMW or M3. So I just left the car rental spot. It's about almost a 6-hour drive down there. So I got a rental, so I don't have to deal with car issues. And yeah, so I probably won't pick this up until I get there. But pretty hype. I don't sound like I am, but I'm hype. I haven't slept in like the last 2 days. But yeah, I'm excited. I've been wanting an F80 since 2014 when they started just coming out. I mean, they're 2015 is the year, but around 2014 you will see them driving around here and there. So I wanted one ever since then. So like I said, I'm very excited, very hyped. I hope the car is what it looks like in pictures, and pictures look like it's pretty good. But you don't really know until you actually get there and look at it. But me and my girlfriend's coming with me too. She was supposed to help me drive, but of course she lost her glasses. So let's see how that goes, because she can't see well at night. But God willingly, we'll get there safe. And thank God for helping me get this car. We'll find it, because I'll tell you how I found it in another vlog. But like I said, hopefully it's the car that I think it is. I'll catch y'all soon. Finally made it to the dealership. This is the car. Dirty as shit, and it has a lot of it's really dirty. It's really swirled up. So whoever owned it before went through a lot of touchless car washes. So that's the only thing I see. But the good things that I've seen is that it has extended PPF on the rear hips, on the doors. Rockers are PPF, and the whole front end's PPF. So that's good. I thought they told me it's Nardo Gray, but part of me is starting to think it might be Grigio Telesto, because this has metallic in it, and I don't think Nardo Gray does. So I did my calculations wrong, and we actually ended up at the dealership almost 3 hours before they open up. So now we're just chilling in the van. But so far, it just needs a really good detail. It does have spacers on it too, but it looks like it needs a really good detail. The only other thing that worries me is this scuff here, but I think I could be able to take that off with a buff. And it has a dent here too, which sucks, but probably our dent guy can pop that out. Part of me thinks it was maybe a tire blowout. I don't know, but we'll see if we get it at a good price. What's up, YouTube? I don't know where I left off in the last clip, probably when I was showing the M3. So as you can see in the title, the M3 purchase went south, and it went south quick. So long story short, I found the car Thursday. When they posted it, it had no pictures, didn't even say what color it was or nothing. I found it on Car Guru, and all I did, I just selected to get a call from the dealership, which they called me like 2 hours later, and I was like, hey, I just wanted to see what color is the car. They told me it was Nardo. I was like, oh crap. And then I was like, well, before I get hyped up, what transmission does it have? They told me, oh, it's actually manual. So I was like, no way. I just found a Nardo Gray manual M3 comp before they even posted it, which is good. So they FaceTimed me. They showed me the car. The car was dirty, but they said they had just got it in. Me and my girlfriend rented a car for Saturday morning. We drove down to Maryland, which was like a 4.5-hour drive. We got there early. I looked at the car. I noticed, like I said in the previous clip, that the car had a lot of swirls on it. So I had, like I said, a lot of swirls. The rear passenger side fender, it looked like it was like a tire blowout because it had this rubber scuff on it. And it had a minor dent, which everything that I found wrong with the exterior I could have taken care of. So then waited for the dealership to open. It opened. We test drove the car. The car drove fine. I did hear some weird noises from the back, but I was like, the tires that this car has in the back are some Ling Longs, which don't belong on this car, and I'm gonna have to change them because dealerships, unless you have really bald tires, they won't change the tires because most likely the car comes as is. So long story short, we were at the dealership for about 6 hours trying to get approved. Mind you, I got pre-approved from the dealership Thursday. I don't know what went wrong. Now I do know what went wrong. I guess prayer saved me because I kept praying, help me find this car, help me find this car. Ended up finding the car, and then I didn't get the car Saturday. So we ended up driving to Atlantic City, which we stayed there. And then Sunday morning, we drove back to Connecticut. So long story short, the dealership was like, okay, it looks like the credit union needs one more day to verify your information and get you approved for the loan, but you shouldn't have no issues because your credit score is good and we already pre-approved you. I was like, so you're telling me this, and I don't know why this isn't working out. So they're like, yeah, by Monday we'll have a decision. So once I left the dealership, I ended up calling my bank, and I ended up doing a car loan through them. They approved me. This was Saturday. I did it. I didn't call them. I actually did it through the app. This was Saturday through the app. And then Sunday, not even a full 24 hours, I got the email that I was fully approved for the total amount that I approved for that I put in for the car. So Monday I called the people. I was like, hey, I got pre-approved through my bank. I still want to see what your credit union is going to give me for APR, for a rate, so I could compare the two and see which one I want to go with. So they're like, yeah, we'll let you know as soon as we hear from that. Never told me about that. I was like, hey, my bank is asking for these 2 documents that I need from you guys. Like, okay, we'll get it to you as soon as possible. 3 hours passed by. I was like, hey, do you guys have the information? Oh yeah, we'll send it right away. 20 minutes to send me the information. I send it to my bank. My bank calls me to tell me, hey, the information you sent me has your wrong address on there. I was like, okay. So I looked at the documents that I sent them. My address is wrong, and then the mileage that they put for the car is wrong. So I messaged them. I was like, hey, these 2 things are wrong. Can you fix it? Send me the information so we could get this deal done as soon as possible. Okay, we'll send you the information, right? So this was like around 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock, nothing. 2 o'clock, nothing. 3 o'clock, nothing. 4 o'clock, nothing. 5 o'clock, nothing. I'm already getting frustrated because I'm making you guys the process so much easier. It's just you sending me these 2 documents with just the dealer license and then basically the bill of sale. And all you have to do is send me that information. Then I have to drive back up Saturday and pick up the car, and I have a check ready for you. So like I told the salesman, I feel like you guys don't want to sell me this car. This buying experience, I bought 2 cars before. This buying experience so far is terrible. So then, around 5 o'clock, I decide to, hey, I'm only gonna buy this car if I want to get a PPI done. They're like, okay, yeah, you can get a PPI done. That's no problem. And I was like, okay. Then 2 hours later, the guy responds to me. He's like, hey, I'm gonna bring the car tomorrow to BMW to get the PPI done. I was like, oh, cool. What time? He's like, oh, I'm not sure. Just let me know what time you want me to drop it off. I'm like, wait a minute. So you want me to call the dealership to make the appointment for the PPI? Mind you, this is a full-blown dealership. Well, it's a mom and pop shop, but it's a dealership. They're like, yeah, just call them and let me know when you want me to drop the car off. I'm like, but you just told me you're bringing the car tomorrow. So why? So you're just going to bring it in and nothing? They're like, yeah, we're going to try to do a walk-in. I was like, okay. So I called their nearest BMW dealership, set up a day for the PPI to get done, and so they agreed to do it the following day at 10 a.m. So I told the guy, I was like, all right, so tomorrow at 10 a.m. Actually, I set it up for 10:30, but I told them 10 a.m. so they don't miss the appointment. So I told the guy, I was like, listen, this buying experience has been terrible. Your finance guy is trash. When we were at the dealership trying to figure out what was going on, instead of him being on the phone trying to figure out why the stuff wasn't going right and why nothing was working, instead of him doing that, I stayed outside in the van with my girlfriend, and we came back outside after like inside after like 3 hours, and I find the guy just full blown sleeping on his desk. I knocked on the door. I literally knocked on the door twice because this guy's just out. Then finally I was like, hello. He's, oh, yes. I was like, hey, it's been 3 hours. What's going on with this deal? And then he's like, yeah, that's when he told me that the people were going to need another day. I was like, so we've been sitting at this dealership. We've basically been here at this dealership since 6 a.m. And we've been sitting here for about 3-4 hours waiting for you to tell me, and then you still haven't told me anything. So I was like, you know what? Give me back my deposit. I ended up putting a $500 deposit on the car. Give me back my deposit. And then Monday, let me know what was gonna go on. So now today is Tuesday, and the car got the PPI done this morning. Bad news. So bad news, but luckily I ended up paying for the PPI anyways. So the car needed $6,000 worth of work. So it had a fully blown rear axle. The front control arm was shot. It was missing an undercarriage piece. And what else? The two TPMS sensors were shot. One of them was actually missing. They just used a regular valve stem for one of the wheels. So that's why when I test drove the car, I had a TPMS sensor. I thought it was maybe because the tire pressure was low or something, but it wasn't that. So the guy, they called me, the BMW dealership called me. They sent me a full video of everything that they found wrong with the car. So at that point, I was already losing hope for the car. I really wanted the car because I feel like a lot of people in Connecticut have F80s. I've wanted an F80 since 2014, since the first time I seen one. So it's a car has always been a dream car of mine. I always wanted one. I bought the Audi before I bought the F80 because at the time I couldn't afford an F80. They were just too new. They were probably only like a year old, so they were still sky high in prices. So I told the guy, I was like, the only way I'm taking the car still is if you guys let BMW do the work. If you guys let BMW do all the work, you eat up the $6 grand, let them do the work, fix the car, I'll buy it. They're like, no, we're gonna have our guy fix it. I was like, the way how south everything has been going with this dealership, I'm not gonna buy a car that you guys are gonna let someone touch it to quote unquote fix it. So I was like, you know what? I'm done with the deal. Keep the car. And we left it at that. And then I checked my bank statement, which they were supposed to Saturday refund me the $500, like I said earlier. I checked my statement, and then I called my bank, and they're like, yeah, they're actually charging you $500. They're not giving you $500 back. So now the dumbass at the dealership, instead of refunding me $500, he charged me another $500. So now they owe me $1,000. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to buy the car. I mean, I still could. They said that they would fix some of it, but they would probably use junk parts, or whoever fixes it is not gonna do it right. The car has a lot of ups and downs of it, more down than ups. The only ups that car has is that it's in an individual color, Grigio Telesto. It was a competition pack, and it was fully loaded, and the front end had a lot of PPF on it. But the car, I wanted to put a paint meter before I bought it anyways, because the car did have a lot of rotary trails on it, so the car had been buffed with a rotary, and rotaries eat through clear coat quick. So I wanted to make sure that the car still had enough paint on it for me to, so my goal was to strip off all the PPF on the car, buff the whole car, make it mint, and then we were gonna re-PPF the whole car. And then I was gonna buy the 2 rear tires that it needed. The car's another thing that the car, like I forgot to mention, when we went to test drive the car was as dirty as when he showed me how the car looked the Thursday. So mind you, he knew 2 days before we were gonna be there Saturday. So when we got there Saturday, the car was still dirty. The interior was trashed. The car didn't have no floor mats. It only had 1 key. We were like, maybe the floor mats are in the trunk. So we opened the trunk. There's no floor mats in there. Luckily, I have a set of kith mats that I bought before I even bought the dang car. So I was like, that's no biggie. I'm gonna put my kith mats in here anyways. So I told the dealership, I tried so hard to work with them. I was like, you know what? I'm a detailer. Don't even worry about paying someone to clean it. I'll clean it when I bring it back home. The mats, I have mats when I get back home. The only thing I want you guys is, I'm not gonna haggle you for the price, because the price is pretty decent. It's a 2018 comp. It had 63,000 miles and it wanted 49 for it. Which if you look at the market, it wasn't bad. Cars for that price, they usually had like 70,000 miles and up. So I try to work with them so much. Like I was telling my girlfriend, I don't know if I'm going through all these obstacles to try to get this car, because at the end or months from now, when the car is actually 100% perfect, I'm gonna be like, damn, I went through all this stuff, but the car is perfect. Or I don't know if it's just a bunch of red flags of me not buying the car, which ended up being red flags of me not buying the car, because if I wouldn't have gotten the PPI done, and if I would have just waited and bought the car, then I would have been stuck with a $6,000 repair bill for that car. I'm not gonna lie, part of me still wants the car. I want to save it. Like I was telling my friends and my girlfriend, I was like, I feel like the car was definitely the first owner. It was a 2-owner car, and you can see all the service records. The car always got the oil change done on time. It got its fluids flushed on time and all this stuff. So the first owner did try to save it. He put PPF on the front end, and he even extended the PPF on the rear hips. He tried to maintain the car as good as possible. But the second owner just completely destroyed it, or probably was just jerking around with it, doing donuts, all types of stuff with it, which blew out the axle. And instead of him fixing all the stuff that he messed up, like he probably blew out the rear tires. Instead of putting good tires, he put crap tires. He probably blew out the axle, and instead of fixing it, he probably just drove around with it, because the whole inner boot was just a grease everywhere in that rear axle area. So like I said, I didn't get the car. This is just the ending to the story. So yeah, so that's the story with the F80. I'm still looking. I'm sad that I didn't get that one, but part of me really wants a Imola Red M3. So we're back on a hunt for an Imola Red M3 manual, of course. But in the meantime, we're still gonna modify the Audi. There's still a lot of parts that I want to do on the Audi, but I just don't have. The parts that are left are just really expensive, so I have to buy them one at a time or save up for them. But that's it, you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully the next video, it's either me buying an F80 or just other videos that I have backed up that I haven't done. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.